Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I'm going to be giving you guys the top 5 reasons why you still suck at Predecessor. And trust me, you need to watch this video to the very end if you actually want to get better. It does not matter if you're a new player, an old player, or you've only played the game for a little bit. I really don't care. I'm so sick and tired of people playing games for literally days, years, months on end, and they literally never get better. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into the video. Reason number 1, you have no self-awareness. Now, what is self-awareness? Now, if I pull up the dictionary, self-awareness is the conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, motives, and desires, right? You motherfuckers that play Predecessor have none of that shit. That is why you're still in bronze. That's why you're all in Reddit forum talking about why are you shit? Why are your teammates shit? The real problem is actually you, but you blame everybody else. But the real problem is you're literal dog shit and you should probably never play the game ever again. Now, I'm just kidding, guys. But seriously, a lot of you guys have no self-awareness. Now that includes you don't look at the fucking map. Now even the best players, including myself, we get caught not paying attention sometimes, but for the majority of the time I'm looking at the map at all times, and I also have a plan for what is going to happen next. When I'm watching low level players, you guys don't look at the map. You're really just tunnel visioning in the lane, and then when somebody comes and ganks you, you want to blame your teammates, but at the end of the day you can only blame your teammates but so much in a MOBA. There has to be a point where you realize, okay, hey, yes, we're playing as a team, but you need to worry about yourself as an individual part first. So if you notice that your wards have just ran out and the enemy jungle was recently on their left side of the jungle or something, and now they're on the right side of the jungle, and you would know that because, oh, you saw that your offlaner was getting ganked. You know why you know that your offlaner got ganked? Because he looked at the map. He might not have died, but you were looking at the map and you know that the enemy jungle had just previously went over there. So where is he going to go next? His opposite side of the jungle. And maybe that's, you know, the fucking duo lane at that point, because I'm assuming that you're in the duo lane. You're maybe the carry or you're the support. But if you look at the map, you'll know that the enemy jungle should be on that side of the map. If your ward runs out, that means that he might come and gank you before he goes and farms his jungle or after he farms his jungle. You need to have that self-awareness to realize, okay, look, the enemy jungle is most likely on our side of the map. Let me make a plan of action. Let me not over push. Let me not, you know, push the wave all the way up and like aggressively push. You need to have the self-awareness to make decisions like that. And a lot of you guys don't have it. A lot of you guys look at me like, Big Cat, I'm just trying to figure out what you were doing in this. Like, can you please go over your thinking and this and that? And it's like, I could do that, but one, I can't do that in play. Me personally, I just can't do that in play at the same time. Like, I try to do it, but me doing it is in the form of shit talking. Some of you guys might like it, some of you guys don't. I really don't care, to be honest. The real ones know what's going on through my head. If you guys go back and watch my previous live of me doing the 1v1 tourney, I was doing that a little bit. Like, if you guys really want to understand my thought process while I'm playing the game. But another thing of having no self-awareness, you guys complain, but you're still a shitter. So yes, your teammates could be bad and your teammates could be selling, but you're also not good. And you literally blaming your teammates for you being bad or for them being bad. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you're dog shit right along with them, but you lack the self-awareness to realize you're not good. You can't win your fucking matchups, whether that's with or without help. You're still getting fucking mopped, but yet it's somebody else's fucking fault. Why? Because you are dog shit and you have no self-awareness. Moving on to reason number 2, you are a terrible farmer. Most players know who Soul Reaper is, and you guys already know he's one of the top players in the game. He says you should have around 10 CS. You should be aiming for 10 CS, and CS is really just the minions farm, right? The creep score. That's how many minions you should be killing, you know, per minute, and you should have about 10. So if the game has been going on for 10 minutes, you should have 100 farm. Now, realistically, you should have around 8 to 10, not just 10. I know for a fact I never have 10 CS. Now, that's probably one of my biggest flaws, is I don't really prioritize farm as much as I should, but what I lack in farm, I typically make it up in getting kills. You guys see a lot of my gameplays, I'm typically having more than 10 kills, a lot of 20 bombs and higher. I make up for what you guys don't get in your farm. I make it up in kills. Most players are not me. You cannot do that shit. You guys need to prioritize your final blows and not miss so many final blows, especially when the enemy isn't even poking at you. There's literally no reason why you should be having so little farm. You should not be rotating. You should not be be over pushed. You should not be trying to make some extravagant plays until you get better at farming. If you can't go ahead, get your farm, maybe get a couple of pokes in the enemy team, ward their side of the jungle, and come back and you're still up in farm and you know you're still getting your farm, you should not be making extravagant plays if you're like the off laner or something and going all the way to the mid lane to try to gank for no reason. Bruv, all you're doing is you're allowing the enemy off laner to basically sit there solo, free as can be, and just level up and get his farm without any consequences. And inevitably you're going to go back and he's going to be on the same level as you because you ruined the differential. You're no longer ahead of him. He might have caught up, or if not, he's really closely behind you. So you guys need to start prioritize farming, and not only farming, actually getting your final blows, because a lot of you guys just be missing the fucking final blow on the minion. Whether you're in duo lane, mid lane, off lane, you can't really miss the final blow if you're in the jungle, but if you're those other roles, stop missing the final blows. And that brings me to the next thing about farming. Stop fucking up your teammates' farm. You are not Soul Reaper. You are not me. You cannot go into other people's lanes and completely obliterate their farm. So if you're a dog tier low level jungle and you see that the enemy, that your mid laner just died, but say it's early game and he only has a 10-second like cooldown, or a 10 to 15 second, you know, cooldown before he comes back to life, there is no reason that you should go in and hard push his lane. Yes, you might be able to sit there and like, you know, let the ads do the damage and you just get the final blows, but don't over push his shit. All you're doing is making the differential worse for him because he's gonna come back, have nothing to farm. He has to wait for the next wave. On top of that, his ads might be pushed up towards the enemy side now, and what's that gonna do is basically gonna open himself up for a gank, and then he's gonna get ganked again potentially, and then you're gonna be like, oh my god, you're so fucking bad, but you just fucked up his farm. And honestly, that could go into having the no self-awareness part, right? You literally have no self-awareness and you're a dog shit farmer, bruh. So to wrap up this reason, you guys need to prioritize farming, actually get your final blows, and stop ruining your teammates' farm by taking all of it, or, you know, just overstaying your welcome. Reason number 3, your skill is too low. Now, what do I mean by your skill is too low? What I mean is you miss a lot of your abilities. That includes basic attacks as well if you're an ADC. Shit, even if you're like a mid laner. Heck, even if you're a jungler, I see a lot of melee motherfuckers out here missing basic attacks. Now, why are you missing basic attacks? It's probably because you're just straight up dog shit. That comes with your skill just being too low. I don't know if it's your settings, your sensitivity, I don't know what it is. You guys might need to look up some settings and sensitivity videos if you're on, you know, keyboard and mouse. If you're on controller, I also have a guide. I can link it up in the description below and also in the card up in the top right hand corner. But you guys need to get better at landing your abilities and your basic attacks. Now, how do you actually get better at doing that? Look, a lot of you guys want to be like, oh, you have aim assist, that's why you hit all your shots. Oh, you have it. Bitch, I've been playing fucking FPS games and video games in general for like 20 plus years. Back to the main point. How do you actually get good at landing your fucking abilities? Well, you guys need to have some, what I like to call anticipation. You need to anticipate your enemy's next move. It's like playing chess, especially if you're 1v1ing in the mid lane, if you're in the jungle, if you're whatever. You need to anticipate where your enemy's going to be at all fucking times. So if you're playing carry and you're trying to, you know, bop up people, that means you need to be moving while aiming at the same time. You need to be able to anticipate your enemy going left, right, trying to juke you out, whatever the fuck he's gonna do. You need to be one step ahead, or if not 2-3 steps ahead at all fucking times. This is the biggest reason why you guys actually miss so many of your abilities. If you're playing like characters like Bellica or Gideon, characters with some large scale attacks that are really hard to miss, it's actually just really fucking sad. And God forbid you're playing a melee character where you're literally point fucking blank and you're out here missing basic attacks. Yo, you mofos actually blow my mind. Now don't get it twisted, I'm not saying you're going to hit 100% of anything, all right? I've been caught missing fucking basic attacks, whatever, if it's melee or fucking, you know, range. But holy shit, game in and game out, I swear to God, you motherfuckers will quite literally miss all of your shits. you will miss about 70 to 80% of your attacks, abilities. It does not matter. You guys need to get better, whether it's you playing the game a lot, watching other people who are better at the game. I don't know what you guys need to do, but you need to fix that shit. Your skill is just way too fucking low. Now on to my next point with your skill being too low. Look, this is something that I've never really understood when it came to people in MOBAs. I don't know if it's because players really just aren't good or they just don't understand MOBA knowledge, but unless you're extremely new to the genre of MOBAs, a lot of MOBAs, you know, the information and the knowledge crosses over. And this next thing I'm going to mention actually irritates my soul. You do not know how to prioritize certain enemies in a team fight. A lot of you guys will be in a team fight and you'll just start shooting up, you know, the tank because the tank initiated the team fight. The problem is the tank isn't doing none of the damage. So why are you all prioritizing the person that's not even the biggest threat? You need to take out the biggest threat first, because once you take out the biggest threat, it makes killing everybody else a whole lot easier. This is why in my videos you guys see me complain about, oh my god, these motherfuckers need to all gang up on me 4 people deep, 3+ deep. It doesn't matter. They need to all take me out first. Why? It's not that, you know, I'm actually really mad. It's really just fucking annoying, but I'm actually that big of a fucking threat. Like, I'm typically just the biggest threat on the fucking team. In the matches where I'm not the biggest threat, shit, that's a motherfucking blessing. I'm actually happy I'm not the biggest threat on the team. But you guys really need to understand, take out the biggest threat, whether that's the ADC, the mid laner, the jungle, maybe the off laners popping off that match. Shit, maybe the support is really supporting his ass off that badly and is actually getting everybody killed. You need to take out the person who is actually getting everybody else killed. And how do you know that? Like, well, it comes with having some self-awareness. You need to understand, okay, hey, every time we get into a team fight, I'm getting stunned out of my mind by Decker. I would be able to kill the ADC, but this Decker is really fucking me up. Or hey, the dual lane is pretty dog shit. Our dual lane is, you know, keeping them out of hand, but, you know, keeping them pretty low. But the mid laner is actually just dogging on everybody. So then take out the mid laner, then you know you could take out the enemy duo because they're bad, and then everybody else, it's just now it's a numbers game. There's no chance in hell they're winning a 2v5 or a 2v4. Heck, even a 2v3 is pretty fucking difficult. So to wrap up number 3, you guys just need to get your skill up. Now that just comes with playing the game and, you know, having a little bit of a brain. All right, reason number 4 why you guys are still bad at Predecessor. You make shitty builds on accident too. You're not even making these shitty builds on purpose. Matter of fact, I should say it is on purpose, because it's your fault that you don't do your research. It's your fault that you don't read items and abilities, and it's your fault that you don't look at, you know, players that make guides or whatever and tell you how to build fucking characters. Now this isn't everybody, but this is a lot of people, and the reason why you guys need good builds is because say it's a fairly even match and it's like a fucking mirror match or something like that, like Quang versus Quang or like Murdoch versus Murdoch, doesn't matter. Typically the best build is going to win in an even setting, right? So if you don't know how to build your fucking hero, you need to go ahead and read abilities, understand what that type of character needs, how will his abilities, you know, be affected by the items that you're making, and this is how you can start to get better at making better builds, especially if you don't want to just, you know, copy builds. But typically in, you know, MOBAs in general and a lot of video games in general, there are just simple meta builds. You need to go ahead and grab the meta build and just use it, especially if you're not like a content creator, or if, you know, you're not just, you know, playing and want to try out some random shit. Most people are actually playing and actually trying to win, even if they're trying out random ass builds. But still, your random build needs to make sense on some fundamental level, and that's whether it's giving you more damage but you shoot slow, or it helps you evade a shit ton of attacks or something, whether you have a ton of cooldown and like you just want to be able to spam abilities but it's not a meta build. It has to make sense on some fundamental level, not you building fucking tank on a Murdoch or a carry or something. That's just fucking dumb. That's not an off meta build. That's not you making some, that's you trying to fucking intentionally sell. All right, and then the other part of you guys making shitty builds, now this comes with having some character knowledge and a little bit of knowledge about the game, just a little bit, but mainly hero knowledge and you know, enemy team comp. But you guys need to learn how to counter build. build, right? So for example, if I'm playing carry and I notice that they have a super tank heavy and CC comp, I'm going to put on Liberator for 1 as my crest so I can cleanse, right? I can cleanse a CC. 2, I'm going to build items like Sky Splitter and Demolisher, and I might even get another pen item, and this will allow me to shred through tanks. So if they're going to build all that tanky shit, well, I'm going to have an answer for all that tanky shit. So you guys need to really learn how to counter build. And another example is, say they have a heavy healing team, they have a Chimera jungle, or they have a Chimera jungle, a phase support, they have a Morigesh mid laner, and like, I don't know, a Xerath off laner. Well, that's a heavy healing team. You need to make sure you're building some form of anti-heal. And although the anti-healing items in this game are called tainted rounds, tainted guard, tainted scepter, tainted something, there is a tainted item for every character in every role. So you guys simply just need to learn how to counter build. And once you guys learn how to counter build, you will actually get better at the game, right? Because you can't just use a meta build just because it's quote unquote meta. That doesn't necessarily work in every situation, because it also depends on the enemy team comp. Now, reason number 5 that you guys, and this is actually the most important reason in my personal opinion, you guys do not understand basic MOBA fundamentals. Now, I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but basic MOBA fundamentals, right? This is if you're like a complete newbie, and even if you're not a complete newbie, just if you've been playing MOBAs and you realize that you're just not getting better, there's a few MOBA fundamentals that you just need to understand. And number 1 is not feeding. If you do anything in any MOBA, the most important thing you can do is not feed. That means not give the enemy team the opportunity to kill you. Why? Because that gives them a huge gold spike and farm like a huge level spike. And what will happen? They will eventually start to snowball you because they now have more gold. They can get their items quicker. They're higher level, which means their health and their abilities do a whole lot more damage. And then it's gonna be this slow snowball that ends up becoming a big snowball, because now if they decide to rotate, they can easily destroy your duo lane, off lane, mid lane if they're like the jungle, or say the off lane is snowball, they can easily go ahead and rotate to the mid lane, probably bop up the enemy jungle. Doesn't matter what the role is, do not feed at all costs. That should be your number 1 priority. If you're a new player, if you're an existing player, I don't give a fuck how long you've been playing on MOBA for, your number 1 priority is to not feed. Number 2, this is more advanced level shit, but denying the enemy from level and farm. Now, how do you do this? So say you're in the duo lane, right? That means you could actually put the lane on a slow push. Now, so for example, say you guys happen to get the drop and you kill the enemy support. Well, if the enemy support is dead, there should be no reason that the enemy carry has the audacity to think he could take on a 2v1, especially being so fucking squishy. He should not have the audacity, especially early game or mid game, to come ahead and think he's gonna go ahead and still get farm. No, your support should be denying him from farm and level, whether that's going ahead and harassing him, poking him, making sure he backs all the way up to his tower. And this is what I mean by MOBA fundamentals. You deny him level and gold farm, guess what? You're gonna be able to snowball him, and that's snowballing without you even getting a shit ton of kills. That's just you taking advantage of positioning and understanding that, hey, he's at a disadvantage right now. How can I go ahead and take advantage of his disadvantage? Well, what do? Deny him from his level and you deny him from farm. If you allow that enemy carry to go ahead and still get gold and farm, this is gonna be the biggest problem. He's going to get a bigger level advantage, and then he's still going to be able to keep up. Why? Because this is all about understanding MOBA fundamentals. When you're in the lane by yourself, you get more experience. Well, you're still in a 2v1 with your carry and your support. So you're still going to be at a level disadvantage, but if you allow him to keep getting farm, he's going to start leveling up more than you, even if you deny him from the gold. So your support should be definitely pushing him back, or if not, making him scared or something, making him miss final blows, making him miss XP, and you know, the best opportunity, the best case scenario is making him not get any farm or experience, right? And so number 3 with understanding MOBA fundamentals, that includes poking. Yo, one of the biggest things with MOBAs is just you realizing that you don't always need to get the kill. Just your threat level in general, having people scared of you. It's all about mind games like chess play. All you have to do is poke people, and especially if you're juking and dodging their hits, but you're landing all of your attacks, they're going to start losing confidence and realizing that they're not better than you, and it's going to fuck them up mentally. So always poke people, poke, poke, poke. Now you don't have to get kills, like I said, just poke them. If you're in a duel lane, shoot them up some, shoot them up a little bit. Don't let them just sit there for free. Also, what this is going to allow for your team to do, it's going to set up opportunities for ganks. A lot of you guys think that the enemy jungle or that your jungle needs to just come over there and gank you know, your lane at full fucking health. Nah, their motherfuckers should already be like half health, if not lower, and then your jungle can go ahead and get a free kill or help you guys get a kill. And this is how you start to really just get better at MOBAs, just understanding the fundamentals. And the last thing I want to talk about with MOBA fundamentals is putting down your fucking wards, especially in Predecessor where the wards are free. Quite literally, they give you free wards that come back on a timer. There is no time that you should ever have your ward, or two wards especially, just sitting there in your inventory. Bruv, if you don't put your goddamn wards down, I swear to God, bruh. Oh my God, you just need to fucking fix that shit. Put down your fucking wards, guys, please. But yeah, that's going to wrap up the top 5 reasons why a lot of people suck at Predecessor, or maybe why you suck at Predecessor. Maybe you don't do any of these things, maybe you might do all of these things. Either way, these tips will definitely help a lot of you guys out. I know I definitely talk a little bit more exaggerated than most people, especially when trying to teach something like this, but I'm really trying to get it through you guys' head that a lot of you guys really lack a lot of self-awareness. You're a trash tier farmer. Your skill is just super low. Maybe you guys might know your skill is low, but that's cool. Get better. Don't just be like, oh, I'm not good at the game, and you don't even actually try to get better at the game. No, actually get better. You make shitty builds, right? Making shitty builds, that is such a simple fix. Just learn how to counter build and learn what a typical build for that hero should look like. And then lastly, like I said, understand basic MOBA fundamentals. Now you could watch literally any MOBA, Smite, Dota, League, it doesn't matter. Watch MOBA gameplay and you will understand the basic fundamentals, like not feeding the enemies, denying, you know, the enemy from level and farm, poking, warding, just basic shit that you should be doing anyway. Other than that, guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit it with a like. It's your boy Big Cat 188. I will have a lot more of these type of videos in the future, and yeah, peace.